Hey there, my name is Taylor. I'm the Wellness Center Manager here at Loudoun County Fire and Rescue. Today I'm going to take you through a gentle yoga class or a beginner's class. So we will start on the floor and we'll end on the floor. This is very good for either recovery or you just needing a little bit of light movement through the joints today. If at any point you're experiencing any sort of pain or discomfort, we have several different positions to go into. As opposed to continuing on, and I'll be sure to talk you through those. So today we're going to get started by laying on the floor. So getting down however is comfortable for you. Go ahead and lay down onto your back nice and flat. If flat doesn't feel great for you, you can always walk your feet up just a bit or just bring them together and let the hips open up. So laying flat here. Palms either on the stomach or down at your side. We're just going to begin with a little bit of deep breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. The advantage of having your hands on your stomach is as you inhale, and really connect to that breath by feeling the stomach expanding and then releasing as you breathe out. Each time you exhale, just try to let the body release a little bit, toes falling out, going heavier into the mat beneath us. If you haven't closed your eyes yet, you're free to do so. To get started today, I'm just going to take us through a little body scan sequence. Basically, I'll talk us through each of the different muscle groups and parts of the body. All I want you to do is recognize how that piece feels, any sensations you might be experiencing. Just continue to breathe as we go through this. Beginning with the feet, the toes. Perhaps you feel the air blowing on them. You feel gravity pressing them to the floor. Moving up through the ankles to the lower part of the leg. Noticing the contact of the calves and the ground, perhaps the material of your pants or leggings. Again, just taking note of the sensation, not trying to change anything. Moving in through the knees to the upper leg. Making sure you go from the quads all the way around to the back of the leg. Again, just noticing any sensation. Moving in to the hips and the low back. Perhaps you notice the weight as you exhale and the lower back presses into the floor. Moving around to the stomach, the base of that breathing, noticing the rising and falling. Next to the middle back and the upper back. Remembering to just breathe as we're scanning through these parts of the body. shifting to the muscles of the chest, shoulders, and just scanning down the arm all the way to the fingertips, noticing any sensations. Lastly, to the muscles of the neck and the face, a place we often carry tension. Just exhaling and allowing yourself to relax here. Briefly bring your attention back to the breath. Again, noticing the rising and falling. We're going to begin to move into our workup. We're going to begin to move into our warm-up phase here. Softly bringing the feet together. Hands dropping down to the side and opening our eyes gently. Pulling our toes back, legs straightened out. And as we inhale, we're going to turn on the core, pressing the back to the low ground, bringing the knees to the chest, hands wrapping around to the back of our hamstrings here. Pulling our toes back allows us to protect the joint of the knee, all the little ligaments that attach there. Should be feeling a nice stretch in that low back here. As we exhale, we're just going to allow that left leg to straighten all the way out, using the core here. Inhaling, we'll pull in that right knee. Exhaling, we extend out the right knee, straightening it all the way out, lowering with control. So we begin really to move through our hips here. Inhaling, wrapping the hands to the back of the hamstring. Left knee comes in. Exhaling, we extend it out. All at the pace of our own breath today. We don't have to be perfectly in sequence with each other. Inhaling, the knee comes in. And exhaling, we extend it out. A few more times on each leg here. This time inhaling, pulling both the knees back into the chest, again with the core. And exhaling, we'll just lower the soles of the feet to the ground. Making sure our feet feel even. Palms come down next to the glutes here. We're going to begin to warm up our back body, so lower back, muscles of the glutes and the hamstrings here. Pressing through our feet and our hands, we're going to inhale, starting at the tailbone, pressing our hips up towards the sky, squeezing the glutes. And as we exhale, starting with the upper back, we're going to lower one vertebra at a time. So the tailbone's the very last thing to touch. Inhaling, pressing through our feet and our palms, squeezing at the top. Exhaling, we lower down. Again, just a few times here to warm up that backside. Just so we're resting on our shoulder blades here. No need to go into any extreme positions. And one last time, pressing through those feet, all the way hips to the sky. Good. Sweeping our hands up behind our head. Our feet stay where they are. Hands come behind the back of the neck, shoulders and elbows pressed back. This time as we inhale, we're going to start to warm up our core here. So as we inhale, we'll start at the forehead and work pulling the head up in a neutral position, just so our shoulder blades are tapping the ground here. Inhaling, we come up, forehead first. Holding for a second. Exhaling, we come down. Just a baby abdominal crunch here. Inhaling up. Exhaling, lowering down. On your own breath here. Inhaling up with the forehead first. Exhaling down. Keeping those elbows pressed back. No extra pressure on the neck here. One last time. Good. Now bring our hands to our side here. Just gently roll ourselves over, whichever side is more comfortable. We're going to press up to all fours, nice and soft. Finding our position where our shoulders are stacked over top of our wrists here, knees stacked underneath of our hips. And pull the toes in. We're just going to really do a full body warm up here. As we reach, we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg, really trying to press towards the back wall here. So as we inhale, we press through our foundation and reach opposite hand, opposite foot. Coming back in on the exhale. Inhaling, reaching out, squeezing the glute, pressing the shoulder out. Exhaling, we come back through. Inhaling, we reach. Exhaling, we come back. A couple of times on your own breath here. Continuing to press through our foundation. Nice strong hand. Nice strong base at our knee and our foot. Hopefully starting to get warm in our shoulders, warm in our glutes. Good, and we're just going to take a rest here, pressing back into child's pose, letting the arms extend out. Nice stretch on the shoulders here. Hopefully feels good on the lower back as well. Good, inhaling, we come up to all fours. We're going to slowly make our way to the top of the mat. However we choose to stand up, it's up to you. You can take a nice lunge and press it. We're just going to find a nice standing position here. This is called mountain pose. This will be our standing rest phase, so if at any point we're standing and we need to take a break, this is the position we'll come back to. Soft bend in the knee, feet stacked underneath of the hip, with the shoulders over top. Palms turn forward. Just take a moment to breathe. Relaxing those shoulders down. I carry a lot of tension there. We're going to do our last little piece before we get into our work phase. These are called sun salutations. So this means we'll do one breath, one movement at our own pace here. So we'll go a little bit slower initially, and then we'll pick up the pace. So as we inhale, we're going to reach out and up. Exhaling, we'll swan dive, so nice flat back position, slight bend in the knee, coming down to a forward fold position. Planting the hands, just step back. with a right foot here, finding a low left lunge. Bringing that left knee back, we're going to press back into a child's pose here. Inhaling, we'll rock forward into a kneeling plank. And exhaling, we'll just turn on the triceps and lower ourselves halfway. We'll drop the chest, peel those shoulder blades back. Inhaling up to cobra. Exhaling, dropping the chest and pressing back into child's pose here. Inhaling, the right knee comes forward this time. And then exhaling again, finding your own way up. We're going to find that forward fold position. Inhaling, we reverse swan dive to the top of the mat. Hands will come to prayer, so come together to our chest. We're just going to sit back, turning on those quads, sitting back into the heels, chair pose. And inhaling, we rise. So this next time we'll do it a little bit faster. Again, go at the pace of your own breath. You don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. So inhaling, we reach out and up. Exhaling, we swan dive, soft bend in the knee to forward fold. Planting the hands, inhaling, we step back with that right knee. Exhaling, we step back with the left and press back into child's pose. Inhaling, we rock forward into a kneeling plank. Exhaling, we'll lower halfway. Dropping the chest, inhaling, we peel those shoulder blades back. Exhaling, we lower, press back into child's pose. Inhaling, right knee comes forward. Exhaling, we step that left foot up to meet the right. Inhaling, reverse swan dive to the top of the mat, hands to prayer. Last time here, we sink, sitting back in the chair pose. Good, inhaling, we rise. Let's refine that mountain pose here. Nice, strong foundation before we get going again. Just taking a moment to breathe. Maybe we notice our heart beating a little bit. We're getting a little bit warm. We'll work through our work phase here before cooling it down. So inhaling, we're going to reach that left arm up and overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to fall into lateral flexion. Soft bend in the knee, chest is nice and open, really reaching with that arm. Should feel it through those left obliques here. Some muscles on the side of your body, nice stretch through the hip. Keep the core nice and active. Just another breath here. Good. Inhaling, we pull ourselves up on the inhale and exhale down. Right arm comes up on the inhale. Collapsing to the left side this time. Maybe take a minute to notice that one side might be tighter or feel harder than the other. So just good things to take mental notes of as we go through. Breaching, chest nice and open here. One more breath. Good. Inhaling, we come up to the top. One last one here as we inhale. We'll open up, press our hands back together behind us, like we're holding on to a nice beach ball here. Pushing those shoulder blades together. Nice and open, maybe even a little bit up. Soft bend in our base still, nice strong foundation. Press those palms together, trying to build some heat in the back. One more breath. Good. Exhaling, we release. Let's go ahead and reset our mountain pose here. Remember, feet underneath the hips, underneath the shoulders. Exhaling, relaxing those shoulders down. So as we move through our Mountain 1 and Mountain 2 phase today, we have the option, if our shoulders are bothering us, always to put our hands on our hips as opposed to bringing them up and overhead. So please know that option is there for you. So as we inhale today, we're going to swipe that right foot back, finding a warrior one stance. Now, if you're finding you really have trouble through your hips here, you can step into a more narrow stance, soft bend in that front knee, but we should be able to feel like we can pull that right hip crease forward. Again, if it's a shoulder issue, we can bring those arms down or keep them up and overhead. You can either be here in Warrior One, you can step back a little bit more. Good, we're gonna exhale Warrior Two, arms come down and out, or stay on our hips. You'll walk that back foot out a little bit. So the goal here should feel like you're trying to press the mat apart with both of your feet. Shoulders are relaxed down. Just take a few minutes to breathe. Still wanting to bend through that front leg. One more breath. As we inhale, we'll unbend that front leg. We'll just slowly make our way up to the top of our mat. Refinding our mountain here, just for a breath. Before moving into our right side. So again, left toes come back this time. I'm going to do the modified arm version. So hands down on my hips. Back toe is turned towards that front left corner of the mat, really trying to square up those hips, fighting for it here. Just feel it a little bit in that front quad. Good. Inhaling, we're going to open up the hips. Front foot stays where it is. Back foot, we walk out facing the long side of the mat. Shoulders stacked over top of hips. Bending through that front knee still. Even if your hand's on your hips, make sure those shoulders are nice and relaxed here. Good. Inhaling, we'll straighten out that front leg and we'll just walk ourselves up to the top of the mat. We find our mountain. And we're going to start to cool it down here. Inhaling, we reach out and up. Exhaling, we'll swan dive. And this time we just find a nice forward fold position. Soft bend in those knees. Maybe we clasp the elbows and gently rock side to side. You can always straighten one leg and bend the other to get a little bit more through the hamstring here. Good. Now, the next time we exhale, we'll plant those hands. We're going to find ourselves in a nice seated position. And I'm going to turn to face you guys so you can see me a little bit better here. Toes are going to come out in front of us. Toes pulled back, activating those shins. You can always have a slight bend in the knee. No need to strain the stretch here. So inhaling, we're going to sit up nice and tall here. And as we exhale, we'll just gently walk ourselves out to a point where we can feel that stretch in the back of those hamstrings here. If you're able to grab your toes, great. If this is as far as you can go, that's fine too. It's wherever you're able to feel that hamstring stretch here. With each exhale, trying to get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Good. Inhaling, using that core to sit us up. Just going to bring the feet out into a little bit of a straddle position. Again, it's not getting as wide as you can, it's just getting into a position. You're able to start to feel that stretch on the inside of the leg here. So soft bend in the knee, toes stay upward. Same concept as before. We're going to sit up nice and tall. And then exhale and walk ourselves out to where we can feel that stretch. The goal is to keep those knees pressed up towards the sky, toes pulled back, will help us get a little bit more of a stretch through our calves here. Again, on that next exhale, try to just maybe walk our fingers out a little bit more. Get a little bit deeper into that stretch. Good. Inhaling, we walk ourselves in. Feet come together to a classic butterfly stretch. You're welcome to go close. I personally prefer a little bit further out. Heels together, sitting up nice and tall. We're just going to exhale, allowing simply our elbows to be acted on by gravity to press on the knees. I know we want to force them down. The gravity does a great job of opening up our hips here. Again, trying to fall a little bit deeper each time you exhale. Nice stretch through those glutes, the inside of the hips, the outside of the hips. Maybe you can feel this a little bit in your back. One more exhale here. As we inhale, we press ourselves up. I'm going to turn to my side here and we'll do one more stretch before we get down to our final position here. So, toes always pulled back as we sit. Like I said, it helps protect the knees, gets us a little bit more through the calves. So as we inhale, we'll use our hands to pull on the back of that right hamstring. Left fingertips come around to the back of the right calf here. Right fingertips come up just behind the glutes. They're simply planted here. We're not weight bearing into them. As we inhale, we grow tall, and then exhaling, starting with our right shoulder, we open up the chest towards the long side of the mat. There's just a gentle spinal twist here, leading with the shoulder, sitting up nice and tall. Again, just doing a finger check, make sure we're not leaning into that right hand. Continuing to breathe through our stretches here. Last breath. Exhaling, we'll release those fingertips, coming forward and allowing that knee to release gently down. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Inhaling, left knee comes in, right toes are nice and active, right fingertips to the outside of the calf, left fingertips come down. Notice how I didn't twist with those fingertips. I work on sitting up tall first, and then I lead with that left shoulder and my head, finding a nice twist here. Should feel really good through that middle and upper back. That was a good test for my fingertips here, making sure I'm sitting up nice and tall. Last breath. Good. Exhaling, we'll release those fingertips and come back forward. For the purposes of this, we'll bring in both of our feet. Scoot forward just enough so when you lean back, you don't come off of your mat. We'll sit up nice and tall. As we exhale, we'll just use our core to lower ourselves down. If this is a little bit challenging for you, you can always use your hands to help you down while keeping your core on. Same way as we started. If legs straight out is a little too much for you, you can always bring the heels together here, or if you have a block or some sort of blanket, you can always put that underneath your knees to help get your back a little bit flatter on the ground. I personally like to take my feet together and lay on my back like this. Just take a moment. Notice how your body feels all overall. Maybe we notice if we feel light or heavy as our body is pressing into the ground. Maybe and hopefully you feel a little bit more relaxed. And then gently we'll shift our focus back to the breath here. Nice big inhales through the stomach. And exhaling it all out. We're going to do a nice easy exercise here. There's something to practice refocusing our minds when we get distracted. This is not only a helpful tool for yoga, but can be a helpful tool at any point in our lives, whether we're driving or at work, maybe at a coffee shop trying to do something, read a book, and you're just distracted by some loud noise. It's a good practice to just return the focus to a breath for a few moments and recenter yourself. So today we're simply going to start by counting breaths up to 5. Each time you exhale, you count that as 1, 2. Just for example, I'm just going to give you a few minutes here to practice trying to count up to 5. Each time you notice yourself wander, and simply bring the focus back to the breath and either start on the number you left off or just start over altogether. The idea of giving your brain something nice to focus on. Just take a few moments to yourself here, allowing yourself to become more and more relaxed and refocusing. And stay in this position as long as you'd like. But I will leave you here today with Namaste.